right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and it is a very interesting day in bodybuilding, just mere days away now from the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. I am here in Columbus, and the big news of the day, Sam Sulek breaking the internet by winning the Arnold Classic Amateur. So he won his class, so the height and weight category. Then he went on to the overall comparison. And he won the overall comparison, which is this call out here that you see of 3 guys. So these are the winners from the other classes. And Sam won the overall comparison to win his IFBB Pro card. So extremely, extremely impressive from Sam. And possibly maybe even some type of record. He's only been competing for 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, that Vegas NPC show that he did to qualify for this Arnold Amateur, that was his first ever show. 2 weeks later, he wins his pro card in Classic Physique. I don't know if there's been somebody that's done it faster than started their competitive career and 2 weeks later actually won the pro card. Very impressive. And I said in previous videos, if Sam is in contention for a pro card, we can be a little bit more critical of his physique and talk about the other competitors a little bit more. That's why I wanted to show this call out. These are the guys that he was competing against directly for that overall title and directly for that pro card. And I can honestly say, looking at this call out, I don't think it's controversial. I don't think it's surprising. I don't think it's because Sam is a big name in bodybuilding. I don't think it's because he has clout. I don't think there will be, well, I'm sure there will still be some, but I don't think there will be very many people saying, this is politics and Sam only won because he's got such a big following. I think that looking at this call out, this to me looks like a deserved victory by Sam. He clearly made all the improvements that he said he was going to make and that the judges told him to make in just 2 weeks' time. Actually really impressive. I mean, the fact that he was able to not only come in sharper, come in tighter for this show, but it looks like he really did focus on fixing that posing in that 2 weeks' time. And overall, just extremely impressive. And I think out of these 3 guys, Sam has the most classic look. The guy in the end, that's the smaller guy, he has a very classic look as well. But as far as proportions and V-taper, crazy tiny waist, and just overall classic look to the physique, Sam seemed to have that the most. And in addition to that, he was improved from the last time we saw him on stage. His conditioning was good. And I believe he was the heaviest guy in this call-out. He's basically a heavyweight in amateur bodybuilding terms. He's basically a heavyweight amateur bodybuilder in Classic Physique. And like I said before, 217, or whatever he actually weighed on stage, but 217 being the cutoff for his height category, that's a really big Classic Physique guy, even as a pro. And granted, the height has a lot to do with that, but there's a lot of pro Classic Physique guys at the Olympia level that are not even close to that weight. So he was big, he was conditioned, he was improved, and he looked very classic. Like I said, I was impressed by how small his waist was here for the size that he had. And one thing I'm wondering about, I don't know for sure the rules with Classic Physique, but typically, and this is, I think, something that people will be very excited to see, I know that in men's open bodybuilding, for example, if you win the Arnold Classic Amateur overall, then you get an invitation automatically to next year's Pro Arnold Classic as a bodybuilder. Now, I don't know for certain that they also do this for Classic Physique, but I think they do. So I'm sure that's exciting to a lot of Sam Sulek fans that you potentially might see Sam compete as a pro at the Arnold next year. And who knows what his competitive plans are in the very near future, if he's going to start competing as a pro right away and maybe even try to qualify for the Olympia this year. But overall, I don't think there's really much to be critical about of this Sam Sulek saga that we've seen over the past couple weeks. I mean, again, I just can't emphasize enough how quickly he was able to do this and how good he actually did look for even 2 weeks ago at that show that was his first ever time stepping on stage. As good as he looked there for his first time ever, the improvements that he made going into this show, it's very impressive. It's hard to be critical of, and looking at the guys that he went against, it was a deserved victory. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say, because I've seen people say this, Sam is the future of Classic Physique. He's the next classic physique Mr. Olympia. I wouldn't go that far, but what he's done so far is certainly nothing short of extremely impressive. So shout out to Sam Sulek, man. He looked phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what he does next, because this is all the entire bodybuilding world is talking about right now. And this is just kind of the appetizer for this weekend. This was the Arnold Amateur. A lot of people don't even typically watch the Arnold Amateur. And the main show hasn't even started yet. So I think this is going to be a really fun and exciting weekend of Arnold Classic coverage. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Sam Sulek's look at the Arnold Classic Amateur, about him winning his pro card. What do you think the future holds for Sam Sulek in terms of competing? Could he qualify for the Olympia? Will we see him at next year's Arnold? What did you think of this overall? And even if you disagree with the decision, even if you thought he shouldn't have won, comment down below and let us know why. Now, next up in the news, this might be our final look at Samson Dauda before we actually see him on the stage. This was posted very late last night, the latest update of Samson Dauda, just days away from stepping on stage. We hadn't seen him post at all this week until this post as far as an actual physique update goes. And most of the comments around this post and most of the reshares and stuff that I've seen, the common sentiment with this update from Samson Dauda, this most muscular here, was a lot of people saying it's game over. Samson has already won. And certainly he does look insanely impressive in this physique update. But if one thing is for sure with bodybuilding, it's that nothing is for sure until we actually see these guys on stage. So never go as far to say as Samson has already won the show because this update is so impressive. But it certainly does have the feel that this is Samson's show to lose. And if he doesn't win for some reason, I feel like it's going to be, he would have to be off for him to lose this thing. He's the reigning Mr. Olympia. Every update that we've seen from him for this Arnold Classic prep, including this one, has been insane. Looks better than the Olympia in the updates that we've seen. Looks improved. It's hard to even fathom this, but looks bigger. I think that after seeing this update, there's a lot of people that put Samson as their winner in their Arnold Classic predictions, and I think that's probably a safe bet. But it's never a sure thing. What do you guys think in the comments down below, this latest update from Samson? How impressed are you by this couple days out shot? Now, next up in the news, Carlos Thomas Jr. We've got a couple updates to talk about from Carlos. I first want to talk about this one, shot in that pro gym that we've been talking about all week. Everybody is filming their updates there because the lighting is so good. This one was not filmed today. Apparently it was filmed a few days ago, but it was filmed this week, so the week of the show, peak week. And I think the interesting thing about this update is you finally get to see Carlos from multiple angles and not just straight on, which I think is his most impressive angle, is straight on in a front double or a most muscular. But you get to see him from the side, you get to see him from the back, and you get to see his hamstrings, his glutes, and his lower back. And I'll be honest, this is kind of what I was concerned about, and this is what I wanted to see, because I've been so excited to see how Carlos looks, to see how he's going to do at this Arnold Classic. And like I said, in these front shots, he looks incredible. Front double, most muscular. He's got crazy quads. He's got crazy arms. He's got a nice V-taper. He's a freak in those shots. But from the back is where people have been most critical of Carlos. And when he turned around from the back in these updates, I feel like the back, especially in the back double, if you look at like the mid to lower lat area, it still kind of lacks that density, that mass in that area. And then if you look at his glutes and hamstrings, he doesn't have really that dry, peeled out look in the glutes and hamstrings. Now, when he turns to the side a little bit, you can kind of see, some striation in the glutes. But when you look at him straight on from the back, the hamstrings to me don't look crazy deep. His back in general just doesn't look crazy dry. And I feel like you can even almost see like him holding some water in his glutes. So I'm still not really sure to say how big of a splash Carlos is going to be able to make at this particular show, because like I've been saying, as freaky as Carlos's physique is and as crazy body parts as he has, I think for him to really make a big impression at this Arnold in a lineup like this especially, the thing that he needs to bring is more detail, better condition, a tighter package. I think some more improvement to the back. I think he still needs to add actually some mass in that mid to lower lat area for him to be more competitive. But we also did get another update directly from his coach, Patrick Tuor, which I believe is actually from today, where he does look a little bit drier. He does look a little bit harder. But I think because of the fact that he's so compact, he's a shorter guy. He's not like a Samson, Dauda, or an Andrew Jack. He's not like one of these big, crazy, imposing guys with the height and this crazy width and stage presence. So for him to make a statement and showcase these crazy body parts that he's got, like these crazy quads and these crazy 3D round arms and shoulders, I feel like it's going to take that grainy extra detail to really make him stand out on stage. Like Hadi, for example. I think Hadi is a good example of that. Hadi doesn't have a big, imposing physique like Samson or Andrew Jack. He's a shorter guy. He's a compact guy. But he brings conditioning that is so detailed that it draws your eyes to Hadi's physique almost over the bigger guys. And so I feel like for Carlos to be successful in that sense, that's what he needs to do. I think he's even actually shorter than Hadi Chupin. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about these latest updates from Carlos Thomas Jr. What do you think about his conditioning? What do you think about his overall look? To me, honestly, I think it left a little bit to be desired in terms of what we really want to see from Carlos. But I'm still excited to see him on stage. And like I just said with the Samson Dauda update, nothing is certain until we see these guys on stage together. Now, next up in the news, we got a new series of updates from Akim Williams. He's a top 10 Olympian. I think he's got a shot at being top 6 at this year's Arnold. He looks incredible in these updates. It's hard to tell with Akim sometimes just based on Instagram pictures, because we've seen him be hit or miss in the past, but still look incredible on Instagram. But he certainly looks like he is in the running at this show. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on where you think Akim is going to place this year, because while we've talked about him a bit, it doesn't seem like he's been discussed as much, at least from what I've seen, as being a top 5 guy, as being a top 3 guy, as being in the mix with, Derek, Samson, Andrew Jack. A lot of people talking about Bonac as being a top guy, Curry as being a top guy, Clarita being a top guy. I don't hear it as much about Akim, but when we see these updates, I mean, he looks crazy. So let me know in the comments down below in the final story that I have for you guys today, but it might not be the final story of the day because I might make another video later tonight depending on what else happens. But this latest update from Logan Franklin, courtesy of his coach Patrick Tuor. I've been talking a lot about Logan this last week or two, how impressive his updates have looked. This one is no exception to that. Logan looks absolutely incredible in all these updates that we've been seeing. This one, conditioning-wise, he just looks crazy. And I think that despite the Olympia placing, like I said in the last video, maybe we can just throw that Olympia placing out the window. I think Logan is going to do very well here. And I think he's got a legitimate shot at potentially being a threat to that top 3. And I will say this as well about Logan's chances of being a top guy here. I think he's got a shot at being top 3, honestly, looking at these updates. But I saw one of my German subscribers message me, and I guess on the Rep 1 YouTube channel, Wesley's coach, Boss of Outlaw, was talking about Wesley, and obviously Wesley is considered to be, a top 2 favorite or a favorite to win with Mike Sommerfeld. And I guess in that video, Boss of Outlaw said in German that Wesley had been sick this past week, like throwing up all weekend. And I haven't really heard anybody else talk about that. But I think that might be something that significantly impacts Wesley's chances of winning. And one thing that I notice sometimes is when you followed bodybuilding for as long as I have, it's been, this is like my 15th, 16th, 17th. I don't even know what year Arnold Classic this is that I've came to, but it's like 16. And I've been doing this channel for like 12 years. One thing that I know for sure is that when a coach makes kind of a pre-excuse before the show, he was sick, he was injured, something went wrong, a lot of times that's not a good sign for how they're going to look when show day comes. And keep in mind, we haven't seen any updates of Wesley recently. He's kind of shut it down. So that kind of worries me about Wesley's chances. But back to Logan, I think that might give him a better chance at really being in the mix here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power. signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.